Hi everyone, thank you for joining my session today. This is Algolia DevCon 2023 session, solving Algolia's most common issues. In this session, we will walk through the most common issues and introduce practical troubleshooting techniques that Algolia support team use in our daily job. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Tatsuro. I'm a staff developer support engineer and a presenter of this session. I'm working from Japan and presenting this session from my room where I do my daily work. I'm really excited to have an opportunity to give a presentation directly to the developers. I hope you'll find this session helpful, and this session will help you make your daily job easier. Before getting into the troubleshooting scenarios, I want to also introduce a bit about our support team. Our team, Algolia Support, is a team consisting of 17 members across the world. We are a globally distributed team covering all time zones. Currently, the support team provides both account-related support and technical support. You can purchase plans with technical support and ask questions through our portal websites. Okay, let's move into today's main topic, the most common issues when working with Algolia. Here, we have three categories: connectivity issues, search relevancy issues, and insight event issues. These are the topics that we frequently get support tickets for, and we'll look into each of them in this session. The first category is the connectivity issue. Because Algolia's API is tapped through the internet, the network connectivity is the essential foundation when implementing and using it. However, by definition, the internet is a distributed network operated by multiple stakeholders. Users sometimes see the instability when using it. Or else, depending on the user's environment, the network connectivity can be restricted or protected for security reasons, which can cause erroneous search results. The best practice to avoid the network instability is to use Algolia's official API clients. Algolia has open-sourced API client implementations for major programming languages, which come with embedded retry mechanisms for the connectivity issues. By using them, you can expect that API client will automatically retry failed requests against the redundant API endpoints. However, there are still cases where this retry logic cannot help. For example, when the client totally loses its connectivity because of its underlying network configuration problem. For such situations, it is not easy to point out the root cause quickly, but we still have a few good tools to diagnose the situation. The troubleshooting steps can be different depending on the way that to implement Algolia on the website. Usually, it can be categorized into a front-end implementation and the back-end implementation. The first troubleshooting scenario is about the front-end implementation. Let's say you have a front-end implementation, for example, using the instant search, and your users are having an issue where they don't see search results on the website. With the front-end implementation, users' browsers are directly communicating with the Algolia endpoints when your end users are searching on your website. There are multiple possible reasons, like having a wrong API keys, having wrong search query parameters, or else they are having some network connectivity issues. One common troubleshooting technique in such case is to use the browser developer tools. Especially the network tab shows some details how the communication went wrong, like if there's any HTTP errors or even internet disconnection, as seen in the screenshot. Sometimes the end users are not so technical to use the browser developer tools. In such case, you can use Algolia Web Diag tool to review the user's network connectivity. The Web Diag tool is a hosted web application to check basic network environmental information. It provides some insights about the user's environment, such as browser info, proxy, geolocation, as well as network performance and search performance on the Algolia application. By default, it runs the diagnostics against the Algolia's demo application, but you can customize it to run it against your own application. In that way, you can ask your users to check the connectivity from your end users' browsers to your own Algolia application. Once it's done, you can ask your users to provide the output to see if they are having any network connectivity issues, such as packet losses or high latencies, which helps you to isolate the layers that is causing the error. Let's look at another scenario where you have the issues with the backend implementation. It can be a situation like where you see errors with the request sent from your backend host when indexing or searching Algolia index. Backend implementation is a way of the Algolia implementation where backend servers are communicating with the Algolia API endpoints. In this implementation, the connectivity that can have problems is between your server and the Algolia endpoints. In such case, the troubleshooting might be a bit easier because you might have a direct access to the host where you see errors. One quick way to check the connectivity is to retry the requests on your host and see if they appear in the Algolia's search API logs. Such API logs are available on the Algolia dashboard, and it provides real-time information of the requests your application is receiving. By comparing the request timestamps on your host with the search API logs, you can see if your requests are reaching the endpoint or not. In case you don't see the requests are reaching, it might be the case where your host has a connectivity issue against the API endpoint. For such cases, you can run a Diag script, which is a shell script version of the network diagnostic tool. This script is runnable with one-liner command on the Unix shell, and it provides a detailed network connectivity diagnostic report. You can find an instruction in our documentation when you need it. The next category of the common issues is the search relevancy issue. Relevancy in Algolia's context usually means that the probability that search users can find what they want in the search result. It is an important pillar to provide a great search functionality, and if it fails, you might have some questions like, why isn't this record matching with this query? Or why is this record ranked so low while it contains what the users really want? So, how can you handle this situation? First recommendation, while you might already have done it, is to review resources explaining about Algolia's relevancy algorithms. We have a bunch of documents, articles, and videos telling about it. For a quick reference, some essential points of the Algolia's relevance are the following. The basic logic of Algolia's ranking is based on the type ranking algorithm. Type ranking works with ranking criteria and custom ranking. This means that search results are evaluated under the multiple criteria of the textual relevance in predefined and configurable order, and the winner in the early stages appear in the higher position in the ranking. Algolia also provides rich query expansion features such as searching words with typo or searching plural or singular form of the search words, which helps users to find related information from the index. So, let's think about the situation where you don't see the search result ranked as expected, like the records you want in higher rank is appearing under 10th position or even lower. You may want to know why. and in that case, you can do so on the Algolia dashboard. Here, you can visit the Algolia dashboard, select in the index that you want to check, then go to the Browse tab of your Algolia index. In the search results, you may notice the search results come with the buttons at the bottom right corner. You can move your pointer over the medal icon of the record that you want to see the details, and as you can see in the image, it tells how the record was evaluated by the ranking criteria and what was the tiebreaker to put the record in that place. The tiebreaker line shows the criterion differentiating the record from the preceding records. Once you understand how it's ranked, you can adjust the ranking in multiple ways. If you want to just adjust the specific record only, then you may want to add a rule to boost it or even pin it in a higher position. If it's rather a global ranking issue, then you may want to adjust the ranking criteria and their options to optimize the logic to suit your need. Another scenario of the relevancy issue is the case where you don't see expected records in the search results. This can be usually understood that the words in the query are not matching the words in the record. To better understand what words are being looked for, you can open the Query Alternatives tabs on the dashboard under your application. This tab, as you can see on the image on the right side, it shows all alternatives that are expanded from the original query, like synonyms, plural forms, or even words having typos. With this information, you can update your record to include one of these words or even the original query word. Another solution, especially when you don't want to modify the records directly, is adding synonyms or rules to cover this matching. The third category of the issue is the Insight Events API issues. Insight events represent the events triggered by users after search, when the customers clicked or purchased a specific item from the specific search results. Such events provide a lot of information, from the user's preference to the globally booming trending item information. It enables the modern search features like personalization, AI-based recommendation, and even AI-enhanced search results. It is usually your front end to send events when there is a customer's interaction, and the implementation of the event is becoming quite easy these days. Our instance search library, for example, enables you to turn it on with a just simple option change. However, to leverage events effectively, it is important to ensure that you have a proper information sent through the Insight event. Let's say you have implemented Insight event on your website to send a clicked product information, but you don't see them on your index. In that case, you can open the Algolia dashboard, click Data Sources icon at the bottom of the left menu bar, and go to the Event Debugger to see the Insights API logs. In the Event Debugger console, you see the real-time event logs where you can confirm if the application is receiving events or not. With this view, you can try sending Insights events and monitor their reachability. If they don't appear in the logs, you may want to debug what's preventing events reaching endpoint by using, for example, browser's developer tools. What about the case where you see events appearing on the event debugger, but they have errors? In case you see errors in the Insights event requests, you can see more details in the event debugger view. You can filter the event with the validity and can browse the details of the errors by selecting one of the log lines. In this example, you can see there are events having HTTP 422 error, meaning unprocessable content. You can see the descriptive error message on the right side under the Events Validity tab, which says, events should specify either some object IDs or some filters. This means that the request body is missing object IDs, so you need to debug the front end to see why. Okay, so we have walked through the most common questions that we receive when implementing Algolia, along with the tools that we use for troubleshooting in our daily job. I hope this makes it easy to work with Algolia in your development work. Lastly, in case you want to ask more specific questions, I want to introduce a few places where you can do so. The first place is in the Algolia Community Forum. This forum is open to all Algolia users, so you can refer to the past questions or ask your own questions to get help from other Algolia users. The second place is the GitHub repositories hosting Algolia open source projects, such as API clients, integrations, and instant search libraries. Here you can not only browse the product code directly, but also you can report issues or submit pull requests to improve them. And last but not least, you can visit Algolia support web portal. On this website, you can find knowledge-based articles written by Algolia support team members, and you can also submit support tickets through which you will get connected with the knowledgeable support team members to work together for troubleshooting. So, conclusion. In this session, we walked through the three categories of the most common issues and reviewed the tools that are helpful to investigate the issues. Connectivity issues, search relevancy issues, and insight event issues are the three categories that we covered today. Additionally, there are places where you can ask your own questions, such as Algolia Community Forum, GitHub repositories, and Algolia support web portal. I hope this session helps you to understand troubleshooting Algolia-related issues and make your life easier. Thank you for joining this session and hope you enjoy the rest of Algolia DevCon events. Bye now.